exciting as this? Not so much? Okay. I know you're still in the summer mode. I hope you enjoyed the video and music as you were coming in. For those of you who don't know, we used to do this thing at the high school called lip dubs. And basically what you do is you sync up music to some movements and actions at the high school. And so I thought we always play music as people come in and sit down. So why not show a little video and show off some of the stuff we do as well. And I have a little bit of personal piece in that as well. I've been trying to get the students to bring the lip dub back. We haven't done it for 4 years. So I'm hoping you guys are the ones that eventually bring it back. So just a little bit of entertainment in the morning as you come in. And I also use it for this important point as we kick off this morning, this registration day. You guys are entering a special place that does special things. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't, but that last clip, the 2014 West Ottawa High School lip dub, has over 620,000 views on YouTube. That type of stuff doesn't happen at other schools. It happens here at West Ottawa High School. Now that was a few years ago. Last year we had many special things, and I'll just name a few. We had an artist whose work made it all the way to Carnegie Hall in New York City, where she was able to be there and represent West Ottawa High School. We had a state championship swim team, boys swim team. We had an AP Scholar of the State, so the top AP student in the entire state of Michigan, hailed from West Ottawa High School. I need you to understand one thing, and one thing only, when you start your career here at West Ottawa High School. This is a special place where we do special things. And we don't do it in isolation. How many parents in here are first-time high school students? Or high school parents, excuse me, with first time. So I bet there's a lot of emotions on a morning like this. Maybe a little bit nervous, anxious. Who's gonna take care of my baby in this big high school, right? Well, I also want to start this morning by assuring those of you, and all of you, but particularly those that it's your first time having a student here at the high school, we have the most caring and dedicated staff. We have 150 staff members total, 120 about teachers, 5 counselors, 2 school resource officers, 2 brand new mental wellness coaches, 4 security members. You can go on and on down the line. We have a very caring and committed staff who are going to take care of your children. Okay? So very special place. And second of all, we are going to take care of your children first. That's what we do here. Now I do have a couple important people that are joining me, so I am going to introduce them. Obviously I'd love to introduce all 150 people, but they're not all here today. Assistant principals. So assistant principals are really important to get to know. Students, if you think of it this way, you're going to have the same assistant principal, the same counselor, the same seminar teacher, and the same secretary all 4 years. So those 4 people are going to be your go-to people all 4 years. Okay? And I've been an assistant principal, I've been in that role here and at another school. I know there's a little bit of a stigma of being a disciplinarian, or you only get to see the assistant principal if you get in trouble. We really try to get away from that here at West Ottawa High School. Yes, if I'm honest, if you get sent down to the classroom, you're probably going to meet with one of them, but there's so much more than that here at our buildings. They are here to support you, they are here to help you, they're here to answer questions, point you in the right direction. So it's really important that you meet your assistant principals early and get to know them. So if you went to Mac Bay and your last name starts A through L, Mrs. Woods would be your assistant principal. If you went to Mac Bay and your last name is M through Z, you will have Mr. Oshnak. He's actually out coaching. He's our varsity football coach as well, so he's first morning of practice, we let him go out there. And because he's also in really good shape, we have him go between the two buildings. So he actually has part of the Alpha here at North. So if you went to Harbor Lights and your last name is T through Z, then Mr. Oshnock will be your assistant principal. I guess I never even introduced myself. I apologize. I was so excited to talk about the lip dub. You guys have no idea. I'm Mr. Reinecke, the principal here at the high school. I apologize I didn't introduce myself earlier. This is my second year as principal. It's my 8th year overall. I was an assistant principal for 6 years prior to that, and I'm loving every second of it. All right. If you went to Harbor Lights and your last name A through J, your assistant principal will be Mrs. Bolheis, brand new, just hired this summer, was a teacher here at the building for 7 years. We are super, super excited to have her a part of the team. And then if you went to Harbor Lights and your last name is K through S, Mr. Manning, who is in another meeting this morning, he will be your assistant principal, okay? We do operate somewhat of a college campus style. We have 2 buildings, but 1 high school. We don't consider ourselves separate. We are not Mac Bay versus Harbor Lights in 2 different buildings. Students will travel between the 2 buildings. We are 1 high school. It's kind of a cool college campus format though. At each building, so like I said, if you went to Harbor Lights, that means your home building will be north. If you went to Mac Bay, your home building will be the south. And the things that will be in those buildings, remember the 4 important people I talked about? Assistant principal, counselor, seminar teacher, and secretary. Those 4 individuals will be in your home building and your locker. And you'll get your locker today as well. Those 4 individuals will be at your home building. Outside of that, all bets are off. You may have classes in 2 buildings. You may be in a club that meets in 1 building. You may eat lunch in 1 building. We are 1 high school. But one thing that is different is that you might have to walk between the 2 buildings. So one thing we've done the last few years is we've shown our incoming freshmen what it looks like during a passing time at West Ottawa High School, thanks to drone footage. I'm trying to get speakers installed out there so we can play that sound as students walk. I just think it'd be so calming. But we do show that video for a purpose. A lot of people have some anxiety about what does it look like to walk between the buildings. And the other thing that's really cool is it's always sunny during passing period. Maybe 99% of the time. And students do enjoy it. Even when it's a little bit chillier, they do enjoy it. They do not enjoy it when it's thunderstorming or snowing. We do hold students, if there is a thunderstorm watch or warning, we will try to hold the students until that passes. Blizzard, same type of thing. But last year we had a really cool community partnership happen. Gentex donated over 100 umbrellas, so that now we have stations at the north and the south, so that if you came to school and you didn't think it was going to rain and you don't want to get wet, you can just pick up an umbrella, use it, and there's a station on the other side, either way, to drop it off. So a very cool community partnership that started last year. We don't have anything for the snow, but that melts early. So at West Ottawa High School, West Ottawa Public Schools, our mission, I'm sure you guys have heard it repeatedly, is pretty clear. We want to prepare our students to be college, career, and life ready. And so I just want to talk a couple moments, I did this at Showcase as well, about the importance of this mission. You are entering as students an age in our society where a high school diploma is no longer good enough. It's just a reality. It's nothing against people 20 years ago who maybe didn't get a high school diploma. It's nothing about anyone specifically. It is just a reality in the world we live in. A high school diploma is no longer good enough to be successful after high school. So that word college, the first of the three, college, career, and life. I want to be real cognizant of the fact that college can mean a lot of different things. So I am not standing up here today saying that you need to get a high school diploma and then you have to go to a 4-year university. As a matter of fact, I would say the exact opposite, or very different. You must graduate from high school, yes. But that second part is that your college needs to look like what your future passions look like. That could be a 4-year university. That could be a 2-year community college degree. That could mean technical internship. That could mean military. That could mean an apprenticeship. So when we say the word college, please understand that is a very loose term referring to post-secondary plans, okay? So as you come into this building, whatever is going to happen after high school, the diploma is just the beginning. The high school diploma is just the beginning. It's the first step in your adult life, your real life. But that word college, which we are preparing you for, can mean a lot of different things. And we're going to help you get there. We're not going to just set you off on your own and say, go do it. We're going to help you along the way. But you need to leave this high school with a diploma and a plan. I put this slide in here. I go back and forth because, as a high school principal, I want all middle schoolers to feel like they're walking into a situation where it's a fresh start. We don't care what happened at Harbor Lights. We don't care what happened at Mac Bay. Here's a fresh start. But there is one difference between middle school and high school that you guys just have to understand. In middle school, in elementary school, you can fail a class, and what happens? You can fail 5 classes. What happens? You keep going on. That is not the case at the high school, and so it's really, really important that you realize every class matters, every class counts. So I put a little graphic up here to show how many credits you need to be in each grade classification. 2 things that are really hard. First thing, you guys come in this year, you get an ID, you're going to do that in a little bit, you get an ID, it says grade 9 on it. Well, you're 9th grade, that makes sense. If you look at credit classification, if you were to fail 2 classes as a freshman, guess what your ID is going to say next year when you come back as a second-year student? 9th grade. Students come to us all the time and say, my ID's wrong. It says 9th grade, and then we look at their credits. It's not wrong. You have to take care of business in the classroom. Probably the worst of them all is at the end of the 4 years. How many credits do you need to graduate from West Ottawa High School? Look at the screen. How many? 21. That's a state of Michigan requirement. Okay? Guess what happens if you don't have 21 credits? You don't get your diploma, you don't get to wear your cap and gown, and now, even bigger, as I just mentioned about our world we live in, you are not prepared to leave here. It's the worst conversations we have as administrators is telling parents, and it doesn't happen just at the very end. We have many, many conversations over 4 years. But the worst one is when a student doesn't meet the graduation requirement. So I put this in here as a plea, as a reminder that you need to understand the difference between middle school and high school in regards to credit structure. So how do we do it here? How do we do it? How do we have 620,000 views on a YouTube video? How do we have an AP Scholar? How do those things happen? How do those special things happen? It's all about these 2 words: opportunity and access. You will not find a high school that offers more opportunities than West Ottawa High School. We're going to offer 21 AP classes this year. I won't name names, but I looked up 3 of what I would say are pretty comparable high schools that seem to get a lot of good recognition. Each of those 3 offer 10. We offer 21 next year. We have a full IB diploma program. Only 2 other schools in the entire west side of Michigan offer an IB diploma program. This year we are starting a very exciting thing called Project Lead the Way. We want to build engineers and computer scientists to leave our school because we know those are 2 of the biggest job fields right now. So we're starting something called Project Lead the Way, and we're starting classes around engineering, computer science, and hopefully in a few years we'll get into the health science as well, because those are the 3 biggest areas people are looking for employees. So we do all of those things. We have 30 clubs, plus 30 more clubs, 30 varsity athletics. You will not find anywhere that has the electives, the art, the music, the physical wellness that we do here at West Ottawa High School. And we provide access. A huge difference between us and some of our schools that are nearby is we don't set aside the best classes and the best athletic or club activities for only an elite few. Anyone has the ability to take advantage of those opportunities here at West Ottawa High School. We encourage students to take risks, educational risks. And that's how these things happen. That's how special things happen at West Ottawa High School. The homework for you is how are you going to get connected? Because the data is real, the research is really clear. A student who participates in athletics, music, art, clubs, who's connected here at school, robotics, science Olympiad, a student who gets connected has a much higher chance of being successful in high school. So how are you going to take advantage of the athletics, the clubs, the fine arts that we have here? I had a WOBN student put a little video together to ask you how will you get involved at West Ottawa High School. So, Ethan, the student, helped me put that together. It's just really important that you get involved. And if you don't know how, just come see an assistant principal, your seminar teacher. I mean, we literally have everything. You guys should see Ping Pong Tuesdays at West Ottawa High School cafeteria. It's insane, but it's something simple. You make a big school become much, much smaller. Because instead of not knowing anyone, now you have 12 to 18 ping pong club mates. And that's just one example, but there are, as you saw, many opportunities to get involved. I'm going to finish with this, and then I'm going to turn it over to the assistant principals to cover a couple things. But I've done a lot of talking about kind of how we do things and what we believe here. I want you to know, I think it's important that what we're doing, our work is being validated. And this started much before me. But this is I couldn't fit it all on one screen, but this is our 8th straight year of being named U.S. News Best High School in the United States. We are the only school in Ottawa County to have that 8 straight years. Just, I believe it was early last week, if you follow any of us on social media, we were going crazy. We got named the #1 high school in Ottawa County, the #1 district in Ottawa County, and 2 of our elementary schools were ranked 1 and 2. I tell you these things not because I want to boast about how awesome this is. It's because, #1, we have an incredibly supportive community. We've passed 2 bonds. I don't think that's any coincidence that these awards start happening when you have a community invested. #2, yes, the high school is the culmination of our K-12 schooling, but it is really about our entire K-12 team. Any accolade we receive at the high school, a kindergarten teacher or 4th grade teacher had just as much to do with that as a high school teacher. And lastly, I tell you because it's important that when we say college, career, and life ready, that people understand it's working. Our mission statement is working. So students, I challenge you to come in, get involved, get connected, join a club, join a sport, challenge yourself educationally, take higher level classes, push yourselves, take electives you've never taken before, find out what your passions will be. And thank you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it over to our assistant principals, and they're going to go through a few things before we get on our way.
Morning. I think we got the mic figured out sitting over here. So, good morning. My name is Mrs. Boltheis. I am the new assistant principal at West Ottawa High School. Welcome, freshmen. I'm so excited. Oh, did that. First going to give up on that. Good morning. I'm loud, so it's not a big deal. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today about especially something that Mr. Readiness didn't get to touch on, and that's how do we make you life ready? And an important thing at the high school that we do is called your Pride Score. How many of you guys have heard of the Pride Score before? Yeah? Some hands in the air? Awesome. So at the high school, we use the Pride Score just like you earn a GPA for the academic work that you're going to do in your classes. You're going to earn a GPA on these life skills. And we break them down into this acronym that we call PRIDE. We want to have good pride for our school, and we also want to have good pride for learning, but also we want you to have pride in those life skills that you are going to earn within these buildings. So we ask you to be prepared. We ask you to be prepared when you come to class with your homework done, your Chromebook charged, a pen or a pencil to do your work with. And that also is going to hopefully transfer when you have to have a job someday, that you're prepared, that you have your uniform on the right way, and that hopefully you washed it before you went to work. That you have your work ready. If you have to do a presentation like I had to do today, I practiced talking all the way into school today in my car, and I prepared to do this in front of you guys today. And that's what we want to work on you with. We know that it doesn't just come easy and automatic to all of us, and that's something we're going to help you with as principals and as teachers. We also want you to have respect, not only for your peers, for your teachers, hopefully for your assistant principals and your principal, but also for yourself, and making sure that you advocate for that. And this is an important skill that you're going to need in the real world, that you can have respectful dialogue with others. And so we encourage you to practice that when you're here at West Ottawa High School. The I stands for integrity. When I think of integrity, I think of it as doing the right thing when no one else is looking. So do I, as I walk through the hallway, I see someone spill their backpack open, do I keep walking? Or do I stop and help them? If I am a teacher in the hallway and I see a freshman lost, which I predict might happen to a few people in this room in the next couple of weeks, am I going up to them and saying, hey, can I help you find where you're going? You might be a senior in this school in 4 years, being able to do that. So showing integrity of doing the right thing when no one else is looking. We want to help you build that skill. Being dependable. This is come to class on time, come in with the things you need. This is an important skill, and this is an easy skill that when you are an adult can get you fired from a job real quick. So we want to help you practice those good dependability skills so that when we do launch you into college, whatever that looks like for you, or a career, whatever that looks like for you, you've built that skill in yourself. And then effort. None of this happens without effort. None of the academics. None of the being successful in sports, successful in a club, successful in life. It doesn't happen without effort. And we want to help you find that within yourselves. So what we do with the Pride Score is we break those 5 areas into 3 specific graded areas that that your teachers will assign you a score from either a 1 to a 4. 4 being the best, just like the 4.0 grade point scale, and 1 being, not so great. So we divide it into 3 areas. The first is dependability. This score is going to really come from your attendance data. It's going to come from how often were you absent, how often were you tardy, and it's kind of just an easy number. If you were tardy and absent this many times, you get a 4. If it's a lot more times, you might end up in a 2. The second area is preparedness and effort. Most of your teachers are going to look at your homework scores for this number. And you can't really, it's a little far to read it from here, but there's parameters for if a student has this percentage of their homework done, they get a 4. If they have this or less, they get a 3. So that's another area where we kind of have a pretty easy gauge of how you're doing in being prepared and showing effort in your classes just by looking at that homework grade and what are you doing daily in the classroom to show that you're prepared and that you're giving effort towards your work. And then the last one doesn't really have a clear parameter. It's respect and integrity. And this is going to look different in every single classroom depending on the teacher that is standing in front of you. It might be that your effort or your respect and integrity comes from you dressing every day for gym class, or you remembering to bring your instrument home or back to school after you brought it home last night to practice. It could be that you keep your cell phone in your backpack, or that you keep your tabs on your Chromebook on what they should be and not on YouTube. But this looks different for every teacher. Every teacher in their classroom is going to have a different environment and a different culture and different expectations. So they're gonna kind of have their own guide for what does earn a 4 in my classroom, what does earn a 3 in my classroom. But they're going to talk to you about that, talk to you about what their expectations are in that arena. Next, so we have high expectations at West Ottawa High School. We expect a lot from you for your academics. We expect you to get involved, just like Mr. Reineke was talking about. And we expect you to have good pride in yourself and in your school. But the good news is we also have a great system of support to help you when you need it. So the first thing that we have to support you is called seminar. So every Tuesday and Thursday, you are going to go to seminar class, which is an advisory class. You will spend about 45 minutes in this class. It will be the same teacher all 4 years at West Ottawa High School. So when Mr. Reineke mentioned those 4 people, your assistant principal, your secretary, your counselor, and your seminar teacher, you're going to see that seminar teacher twice a week. You might not see your counselor twice a week or your principal twice a week, but you are going to see your seminar teacher twice a week. So they are a great kind of ally for you within this large community. So that class is teacher directed. That teacher is going to be looking up your grades, looking up your attendance, checking in with you. So they're a great person to really start building a good relationship with this year. If you are in that class with your teacher and they're an English teacher, but you really need help with your math teacher, what's cool is we have a system set up that you can transfer from your seminar teacher to your math teacher to get that extra support that you need. You just have to go to seminar, you check in, you say, hey miss, I'm here, and then you can get a pass and head off to math class and get extra help. We also allow you to have your teacher request you to go to the library. So if you really enjoy working in the library when you need to write an essay or something, you have that ability. If you need to go and transfer to work on a group project with a teacher, you can do that. So summer's a really great opportunity just to have some extra study time within the school day. It's not asking you to stay after school. It's giving you that opportunity built right into our schedule. And you, again, will be assigned the same teacher all 4 years. I think what's really unique about our seminar classes is that you have students of grade levels 9 through 12 in every single class. So as a freshman, it's a little scary walking into this classroom that everybody already kind of knows each other a little bit, but you're going to become part of that family. And those older students are they're gonna wrap their arms around you and help you when you need it. And then eventually you will become those seniors and those juniors who are helping those incoming freshmen, waving hi to them in the hallway, helping them if they get lost, helping them with their math homework, that kind of thing. So during freshman orientation, which is going to be the first 2 hours of our first day of school, you will actually go first to your seminar teacher. You're going to meet them, you're going to meet all the other students in your seminar class, and then have just a short orientation of the school and the building and get a tour. So it's going to be your first interaction with that kind of home base that you're going to have all 4 years of high school. And with that, I got one more. WOHS Access, this is another support we have in place. So this is an after-school program. It runs Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 3 to 4, and you can receive help from teachers who will be at WOHS Access. Usually there's like 2 to 3 teachers who are floating around WOHS Access of different subjects. And then they also invite National Honor Society students to come in there and also help tutor. So there's always somebody in that room who can help you with whatever it is you might need. If you need that extra help just in guidance in something that you're struggling with, or if you just need time, like focused time after school to work, this is a great space for that to happen. A teacher can assign you to stay for WOHS Access. So if they see that you're falling behind on a project in social studies that you're working on, and they need you to stay after school, they can require that you stay there and do that extra work. And it's just them stepping in and saying, hey, I know that you just need a little bit more time, a little bit more focused attention, and I'm going to help you with that so that you can be successful. So in that case, if you would be meeting with the teacher in their classroom. If you were just coming to WOHS Access, it's held in the North Library. And then there's a late bus all of the days that WOHS Access is open so that you can get a bus ride home. It's not going to go to as many stops as your route probably does, but it'll get you close, and then your legs will do the rest of the work. So, and now it's mine. I'm done. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Woods.
All right, I am super excited that you are all here. How many of you are really looking forward to looking at your schedule today? Because I know that's one of the most exciting parts of this particular day is to get your folder with your schedule. But I want to make sure you know how to read your schedule because you will have an opportunity to look at where your classes are. Do you remember at the very beginning, Mr. Reineke said we have 2 buildings, and you might actually be walking from one building to the other to go to class. Well, we want to make sure that you know what building is this class in. So when you look at your schedule, you are going to see a semester 1 and a semester 2. So that's going to help you know. For the very beginning of the year, we're going to be looking at only at semester 1. When you look at the individual classes, you are going to see the name of the class, the teacher, and the room. If you happen to be taking Successful Living and your teacher happens to be Mrs. Ruby, you will have a A204. Pay very close attention. There is an A, a letter, then 204. That A indicates that your class is in the North Building. So if there is a letter, A or B, And then it's 2:04, your class is in the north building. If you have a class, let's just say it's U.S. history with Mr. Boyer, and it says 2:10. Just 2:10, no letter in front of it. That means your class is actually over at South. So when you look at your schedule, I highly recommend you go through and you highlight, is this a North class or is this a South class? Remember, you will know if it's North or South based on whether there is a letter in front of that number or not. So that's really, really important. On that very first day, when you are here for that orientation, you will have a chance to walk through your schedule to make sure you know where all your classes are. You'll have a chance to do that today if you so choose. Parents, we want you to be engaged in this process as much as you are able. One of the main ways you can stay connected is through Parent Portal. Parent Portal is your best friend. There are no secrets. You can keep track of your students' grades. You can keep track of what assignments have been turned in, what has not been turned in. You can keep track of how is your student doing overall simply by logging into Parent Portal. It's a great tool for you to ensure you are staying up to date on what's going on. This Parent Portal is linked to your email, so if by any chance your email changes or your contact information changes at all, please make sure we know because we want you to be informed and engaged. Parent Portal, the information that we have in there also helps us know what numbers to call, what emails to use. So for example, when attendance calls go out, we want to make sure you're actually getting them because we don't want that to be a secret. We want you to be informed. Follow us on all of our social media. So yep, we have Facebook. I know kids, that's not your world. But parents, we still, at least me, we still might have a Facebook page. And so stay connected knowing what's going on Facebook. We have Twitter. This school particularly as a district, we are on fire on Twitter. So make sure you're keeping track of what's going on. And know that we are here to help. So anytime you have a question, do not hesitate to connect with us. We want this to be a partnership. We are a team. And so we want to make sure you know how to get the support that you might need. And we might be calling to you for some support as well. Students, this is your year. You are beginning a journey that is yours. Yes, we're here to support you, but this is your journey. How many of you checked your emails? I'm telling you, I have a 15-year-old, and when he went to high school, his immediate response was, I don't ever check my email. This mom was a little upset. You have to check your email. Your email is the way your teachers will get a hold of you. They might send you messages that you need to see. So please check your email every single day. This is important for life. If I went a day in my job today, if I went a day without checking my email, I'd be in trouble. I'm pretty sure I might get fired. I mean, if I was rude, maybe. But it's really important that you use your email every single day. It is a tool that is mandatory. It's not optional. So please make sure you're checking your email. Your grades, you have access to your grades all the time. You have your own portal access. So if it's well, I didn't know I didn't turn it in, I might actually wonder if that was really whose fault that might be. If you didn't know, I might say whose fault is that. So please take ownership. Make sure you know where you stand. Sometimes, as teachers, we might make a mistake. We might make a mistake and maybe we didn't enter something into the grade book. So please be sure to stay up to date on your portal so that you know how you're doing at all times. And then your transcript is the place where you will consistently look for how am I doing overall? Where am I at? And that will be a way for you to keep keep track of, are you on track for graduation? So we already talked a little bit about how you can stay connected with West Ottawa High School. The Twitter is a great place. If you have not yet connected with us on Twitter, that's a great place to find information. Our Panther Pipeline is a great place to find information, and again, we talked about that Facebook. So, that very first day, we've already talked about it a couple of times, but we want you to understand that we're here to make sure you're prepared. We're not going to let you fail. We're going to make sure you have all that you need to be successful this first year at West Ottawa High School. So that beginning day, that very first day is the day you meet with your seminar teacher. That's where you're going to begin that process of getting to know your seminar teacher and getting to know this space. You'll be able to walk through your schedule. You'll be able to get a tour of both buildings. You're going to have a better understanding of what is this big thing called West Ottawa High School. You'll stay connected with some of the students that are in your seminar class, and you're going to receive your Chromebook that day. Okay? So we know that being connected is really important. We know that that very first day here at West Ottawa might be a little nerve-wracking, and we want you to have fun. So on that particular, that very first week, it's the 27th, we have an event that we want all of you to be invited to. So we have some students that are going to come talk to you about our kickoff.
All right. What's up, class of 2023? I'm Leah.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Lisa. And we are here to invite you to the best part of your freshman year, the Freshman Mixer.
The freshman mixer will be August 27th, the first day of school, in the South Cafeteria from 7 to 9.
You can buy tickets with us. We'll be across from the lunchroom after this meeting, and they will be $5. They will also be sold during the seminar on the first day of school for $5 and $7 at the door.
Come to see and meet new people. There will be an open gym, music and dances, and many fun games. So parents, if you would like an evening to yourself, make sure to send them down. August 27th, South Cafeteria.
See you then.
So I know there's that wondering, like, do people really go? Like, am I really, like, do I put myself out there? What if I show up and I'm the only one there? I'm telling you, it's packed. You want to be there. It's a fun way to just connect on that very first day and really just enjoy each other's company and be here in this space called West Ottawa High School. So highly, highly encourage it. If you're wondering if it's really cool, I'm telling you, it's really cool. I mean, in my opinion. All right, our open house is August 26th from 6 to 8. Again, that's both buildings will be open so that you can make sure you have an opportunity to visit both buildings and meet some of your teachers. And I think the next is...
Yeah, you guys have been a great audience. Welcome again, freshmen, class of 2023. There's two things that aren't necessarily stations that we really would like you to do before you leave. Both of them are located on Main Street just before you go to take your picture with the ID people. Number one, we do it every year. We have every freshman, because we know that it's something that is just a starting block past high school. We have every student sign a commitment to graduate banner. That will be down there. And then also we do something kind of fun. We have a backdrop that we use for our college signings. If you want to join some friends or join in with your parents and do a crazy or funny picture in front of that, tweet out hashtag Woke Class of 2023. I will read some winners on the first day of school. I think last year I gave out some woke gear, and then I gave out a bunch of froyo. You guys know we have froyo here, right? Oh yeah, everyday froyo. Parents, make sure you put money in the accounts because they're gonna want the froyo. All joking aside, you guys have been great. Thank you for your